It's always a pleasure for me to be here in Sri Lanka. And this is my second visit. And I happened to meet Doctor last time there in India for another sports medicine conference was there. And that's how we built up our link and association. And I'm always very happy talking about nutrition when it comes to sports. So it's been 18 years that I've been working with athletes in and around India, outside India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. A lot of my athletes are in US, Canada, UK, like that. So wherever I go, I see that how I can spread awareness about nutrition, because nutrition is something we eat 6 to 8 or 10 times maybe in a day, but this is the most ignored aspect when it comes to especially sports and their sports performance. That's what happens. And like doctor said, it's been like almost 8 years that I was working with weight class sports, weightlifting, boxing, judo, taekwondo, and multi other sports. I was heading the entire section for their nutrition and supplementation. So a lot of things that I'm going to talk to you today are out of my experience working with such athletes and this domain. And now I am more in endurance sport. And so whatever you're going to see, it's not about any specific food that you eat this or you have this supplement, your performance is going to be great. But it's more about strategies. It's more about performance fueling strategies that can help in improving your performance. So before I begin, a short introduction. Anyways, doctor has already told you a lot of things. So I hold almost 18 plus years of experience. Currently, I'm the board member and faculty for Indian Academy of Sports Dentistry. So now sports dentistry is coming a lot in sports and even in Olympics, because especially in weight class sports, what happens, a lot of injuries happen in the mouth. So I'm a part of that. Then Special Olympics Asia Pacific, I'm fitness advisor. Currently, I'm head of nutrition for Center for Sports Science. It is with Department of Sports and Youth Ministry, Karnataka. And I work a lot with footballers. So if you follow football in India, ISL, we have Punjab FC, Kerala Blasters. I'm a part of that. Earlier, I was with kabaddi teams and athletics and so many other things. And I'm also Fit India Ambassador, which was initiated by our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. So I'm a part of that as well. So I'm into multiple sporting activities, and all over I talk about the nutrition aspect. So today, the things that we are going to cover is like we need to understand the physiological demands and energy systems of world class sports, because we understand these are world class sports, but what is the physiology that is working in them? It's very important, and many of us don't understand what is happening in the body, because unless you don't understand what's happening in your body, it is like difficult to target. Like, for example, when you get a fever, you know you are getting shivering or the chills, or your temperature, you know what is happening. Or if it's an allergy, you know what's happening in the body. Same way for specific sports, you know what are the physiological demands of what exactly happens in the body. So once you understand that, the performance gets better, because your approach towards it gets much more scientific. We'll also talk about the key muscles and movement pattern, optimal body composition, that's very important. Sports nutrition strategies, I'm going to discuss in detail. What are the safe and effective methods for weight loss and making weight without compromising performance? Because we reduce the weight, whatever is the target, but most of the time we lose up on the performance. That's what happens in weight class sport. And lastly, we'll discuss about the supplement. That is the major domain that we are going to talk about it. So these are the few things I've lot to talk about it. So whatever questions you have, write it down. We'll discuss it towards the end of the session. Okay. So quickly, let me ask you one question. Feel free to answer, guys. Let's make it little interactive. What's the biggest nutrition or the weight management challenge you have seen in any weight class sport? Whether you are an athlete or you work with weight class athletes, what is the common challenge that you have seen? Anybody? Any challenge that you have noticed? Anyone? No, nothing? Weight class athletes suffer so much in different ways. All of you are related to weight class sports in some or the other way? Yes? Majority of you, I guess? Yeah? So, what is it that you face or you have noticed among such athletes? Anything related to water, food, supplement? Yes. Exactly. Yes, this is one of the common thing. I'll talk about more, but I wanted to hear from you. This is one of the thing that's there. And what if I told you that nutrition plan could be your biggest limiter or your strongest weapon in so many ways? If it is done strategically, it can limit your performance or it can be your strongest weapon. And that's what we are going to discuss today. Okay, so let's first talk about what is exactly weight class sport. It is something where athletes compete in weight divisions, right? 60 kg, 65, 70, 75. Do you remember recently in Olympics in India, one of the wrestler, what happened? 100 grams. I hope majority of you know that case. It was a worldwide news actually. If you haven't, just please go back and check. Okay, they tried a lot of things in the night. They had chopped off her hair, they removed blood from her body to reduce 100 grams, but it didn't happen. She was a strong, she was competing for the, I think, silver and gold. That was the competition, and she was completely disqualified. So lot of things they did. They put her in sauna, lot of sweating they did. They removed her food. And the whole point was like, even if she would have dropped 100 grams, do you think in that case she would have performed on the main stage? No. No, in fact, after that, she collapsed badly and she was admitted in the hospital for a lot of IVs and all of that, lost completely. So these are the things that happen all over the world. Okay, it's not specific to Sri Lanka, India, or anything like that. The whole point is certain places, certain countries, we are a little more strategic. Okay, little more things that can come in. And there also the mistake happened where in the weight class we started targeting towards the end, and that's what most of the coaches do. Throughout the routine we are not focusing much on the weight, and that's what happens towards the last, where a lot of things we try to do to lose that weight, but with that what happens, your performance drop. And that's what the point that gentleman mentioned. So the key characteristic of weight class sport, your success depends not only on the skill but on your lean mass, which is your muscle tissue. Very very important. They tend to lose up on that, which needs to be backed by hydration. When I say hydration, your water consumption, your electrolytes, okay, and your weight cutting abilities. There are short strategies that can be followed, but then those weight cutting strategies need to be taken care in such a way that the performance is intact. Okay. Second, athletes must make weight within 24 to 48 hours pre competition. That's what generally they do in most of the weight class sport. Within 24 to 48 hours, they try to adjust 2 to 4 kgs, maybe more at times. They are fixing at that point rather than focusing beforehand. Then it involves water and glycogen manipulation and metabolic control. What happens is like they stop drinking water, they stop carbohydrates. Lot of these things happen. They're just eating maybe veg. Sometimes they're not eating only. Like in her case, that athlete, she didn't eat anything. She didn't sleep whole night. There itself, you can see where the mistakes happened, especially with a female body. It works very differently compared to a male body. Okay, that's what happens. It's pretty common in combat, strength, and endurance sports also. It requires faster recovery and weight rebalancing in multi day events. You'll have back to back events. You need to manage within that. There's a weigh-in period. After that, you have that phase wherein how you need to be eating at that point. All those things. So these are the basic characteristics of a weight class sport. Common weight class sport, I'll come to them these after a while. So let's talk about what are the physiological demands of weight class sport. Okay, so guys, all of you, this is going to be a little scientific session, and I want you to be little more scientifically sound when it comes to these kind of sports. Because just by seeing, okay, I can have creatine, I can have beta alanine, caffeine, I will eat this, madam, you take give him mass gainer. It doesn't work like this. Okay, yes, these things are important, but how strategically these things have to come in. Okay, so we have three energy systems, and in the corner, if you see, those sports are listed out. Quickly, you would have heard there is ATP, there's anaerobic glycolysis, there's aerobic oxidation. Generally, ATP anaerobic comes in the picture. Okay, so if you see, last diagram that is there, light color is ATP, so mostly ATP. So ATP is like sudden burst of energy, quick, 5 to 10, 15 seconds. Okay, that's all you use. It's like one battery, it used up suddenly entire energy and then you crash down. So in weightlifting and all, it's that jerk, it's the clean and jerk or a snatch. That's where you take up that energy. Okay, explosive lift, that's where this energy system, so you need enough glycogen store in the body, enough hydration, because you're using all the power altogether. Okay, so if you see weightlifting, taekwondo, boxing, ATP, the percentage is more compared to other sports. Then comes anaerobic, which stays from 10 to 90 seconds. Again, lactate builds up in that, your muscle glycogen is used up. Okay, it's in the absence, so this after ATP it switches to anaerobic mode. And if you see anaerobic, again, boxing, wrestling, judo, MMA, these are the ones which are using anaerobic. So here again, you have few punches, grappling events in between happening. Lot of strength at that point is required, which is of a few seconds thing, more than 10, 15 seconds. That's where anaerobic comes in. And lastly is aerobic. Aerobic is used a lot in endurance, but weight class sports, what happens is like in between when you're resting between the sets, like boxing, in between you are resting for a while. Okay, and similarly others. So if you see the sports, weightlifting, once you are done with the lift, you are waiting for some time. Okay, then comes your another. So during this phase, aerobic, wherein you have time, you can eat also, and you can maintain your glycogen and fatty acids are used up. So weightlifting, taekwondo, these are the common ones. Rowing and all, it is used. So all three energy systems are used in weight class sports. Dominance depends on the sport type, intensity, and duration. Okay, so these are the things. So why energy system is important, because accordingly fueling we have to see when an athlete is resting between the sets, when the athlete is going for the explosive lift or something, how I need to fuel, what energy is used up at that point. Accordingly my fueling is going to come in for that particular athlete. That's what is important. Then comes muscle fiber. Okay, you would have heard slow twitch, fast twitch muscles, right? Type 1, type 2A, type 2X. So 2A, 2X are used up more. I will not go much into the detail. There's a lot of scientific explanation. But then it's more about fast twitch muscles are used. Slow twitch are more used in long distance endurance sports and all is used. So fast twitch, what happens again? They need enough glycogen and hydration. They tire up fast, fast twitch muscles. They give you a lot of power and explosion, but they also get tired very fast. That's what happens. And unless you don't have a backing of good glucose glycogen in your body with enough hydration, these muscles are not going to work. They are going to get tired. And in weight class sport, these muscle fibers are used a lot. Okay, so these athletes are more fast twitch dominant athletes. Now quick hormonal responses, third physiological hormone responses. Okay, and this I have struggled a lot in my experience working with athletes, especially female weight class athletes, because we females, when it comes to hormones, we are the major ones who suffer compared to the guys, whether we are athlete or not. And if you're an athlete, that to weight class sport, the sufferings become more if the things are not taken care. And in weight class sport, one of the major challenges, rapid weight loss. That's what most of them focus. That's what we have been talking. And when it is rapid weight loss, what happens? Certain hormones get affected. If you see the first column in that blue color table, your cortisol, which is the stress hormone, increases. That's what happened in that Vinesh Fogart, that girl who competed in India, 100 grams couldn't go down. Her sleep wasn't there, and we were trying multiple things. When your cortisol goes up high, your weight loss is not going to happen. It will deposit more fat, more water. It's a stress. Body is trying to protect the body. Okay, so cortisol goes up. For guys, testosterone drops. Then leptin, which is your satiety hormone, goes down. Ghrelin, which is your hunger. So what happens? You go through a lot of cravings, hunger. It's difficult to control your hunger. That's what happens. So you tend to eat more. Your thyroid. I see a lot of athletes suffering with TSH going down, underactive thyroid. And it's not because they're eating junk and other aspects. It's a lifestyle disorder. It's a training inflammation. Excessive training, poor eating, and excessive inflammation in the body, TSH or your thyroid hormones. I have 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 11-year-old dealing with thyroid issues. And the parents are like, we don't have genetic issue. And I'm like, it's not genetic. It's all about the fault in the training and the fueling aspect. And please understand, thyroid is your master hormone. Okay, but if that gets affected, ultimately all other hormones start getting affected. So even your sweat rate, the thyroid impacts. Heavy sweater, less sweater, a lot of it is impacted by it. Then your FSH, LH, luteinizing, these female hormones starts dropping. And all of these things ultimately leads up to what? Muscle loss, poor recovery, low energy, lot of mood swings. I have girls dealing with lot of aggression, mood swings, and a group of female weight class athletes, weightlifters. Big time. Every other day I was taking them to the doctor because I was trying to explain where the issue is, but the things a lot of times don't work that way. Then increased injury risk, frequent injuries. I had athletes where an abductor muscle teared up, a hamstring issue happened, shoulder issues are there, rotator cuff, so many issues are there. I'm not saying these things are not going to happen. Being an athlete, these things will happen, but the severity of that thing is lot under your control. Lot of it we can, if the body is strong, if it's well hydrated, a dry muscle is going to tear apart. Okay, then long-term risk, RED-S, it is relative energy deficiency syndrome. Pretty common among athletes, even guys are having these issues. Hormonal issues, bone mineral density is low. So menstrual dysfunction among females, metabolically they are low. All these, and we are unable. What happens when we see these things happening? We try to bring in a supplement to address that. Low energy, take creatine. Okay, muscle loss, instead of 1-2 scoops of whey protein, 4 scoops of whey protein happening. Half of kg, 1 kg of non-veg is overloaded on that athlete because we are unable to understand the root cause of the problems. We are trying to just quick fix the issue, but nowhere it's helping. In fact, it's just aggravating and making the situations and the conditions worse. Okay, so that's why nutrition periodization and monitored weight cuts are essential. I'll come to nutrition periodization, like how in training you have your off season, in season, and the later part, and then your post weigh, all of that. Nutrition has to go accordingly. We go a lot in the training. There is nutrition remains same. Day one it's the same. Last day also it's the same. Even in the training weeks, you have 70%, 80% load. There are days wherein you're deloading. We have all those variations, but nutrition is still the same. There's no change. If the athlete has to drop weight, they were asked not to eat rice, not to eat bananas, anything carb rich, nothing. If the athlete has to gain weight, eat everything, oil, butter, everything. That weight gain is what? It's all about the fatty weight gain. So when you're on the stage, the body is like full of fat, and that's not helping you. Okay, so with the phases, even nutrition periodization is equally important. Last, neuromuscular, psychological, and metabolic demands. So there's strength, power, speed, agility, aerobic endurance. All of these things are based. Speed, it is specific to your neural drive and that muscle tendon unit. If these two things are taken care of, speed is automatically going to come in. Right? Speed doesn't mean you keep lifting weight. You just go out and run, and the speed is going to come in. I've seen athletes doing that, right? So yes, these things are important, but if it's not supported with the other things, which is your nutrition and hydration, whatever speed you have, you're going to kill that. Similarly, agility, aerobic endurance, all of that have a connection. And motor unit recruitment, your high threshold fast twitch motor units activated for explosive output. Okay, and if things are not taken care, generally central nervous system fatigue happens with low glycogen, dehydration, and poor sleep. Sleep is one thing that is badly impacted in athletes. You ask a lot of weight class athletes, one thing is like they can't sleep in the night. Even though they are training heavy, they don't have good sleep. Okay, then comes your same psychological, your mental resilience, like in terms of your willpower, but even in terms of your food habits, all of that mental resilience comes in the picture. But how it's going to work, it's not only willpower. The body needs to be taken care of well. To even, like simply, if we talk about ourselves in general, forget about the sport, even to eat or to pick up that junk or eat, if you're well hydrated or eaten beforehand, you will not have that motivation to pick up something much. You have not eaten since morning, obviously anything and everything you will see, you will eat. Packet of biscuit to chips to anything and everything. It's not about the willpower. Your body is hungry, and when you are hungry, apple never attracts or oats never attracts. Everything which is rich carb based or which is more tasty, that attracts us, that satisfies us somewhere, right? When we eat a sweet, that's when we feel, now I'm full, now I feel I have eaten something. So unless you don't have a strategy, we even fail. Same applies to athletes. It's not always willpower. Okay, so high level performance demands integration of physical, mental conditioning, recovery strategies, and smart weight management. And yeah, one more thing, body composition, very important. None of them checks. What is the fat percentage and muscle mass? For example, there are two athletes, A and B, both are 70 kg. Now you tell me, athlete A is 10% body fat, 63 kg lean mass. Athlete B is 18% body fat, 57.4 kg lean mass. Pretty simple. Who will have the upper hand? Athlete A, right? Because it's a lesser fat percentage and a better lean muscle mass. So your body composition is very important. If you are in a weight class sport, in any way you're associated with athletes, it's very important to have a check. We have equipments now not easily available in Sri Lanka, but we have skin fold calipers and DEXA and lot other things are there. Even our simple body composition equipment is there. You can check what is the fat percentage, what is the muscle mass, because it's not just about being in that 70 kg or 60 kg. What that weight is made up of, that is very important because that will decide the performance. Is it a more fat weight? Is it a more muscle weight? Because more muscle weight, more recovery, more energy, more strength, more blood rush. That's what is going to happen. So it's very important to understand what that weight is made up of. Okay? So in weight class sport, it's not just about making weight, it's about maximizing output within that category. It's not just about the weight, what that weight is made up of. Okay, ideal body fat percentage is there, which is for boxers, wrestlers. There's a table, you want to take a picture, you can do that. And lean doesn't mean depleted. A lot of them think like that. Okay, bigger body, more bulkier body, and we kind of forget in that about the muscle. So too low body fat also is bad. So in weight class sport, we are not looking at too low body fat percentage also. Okay, because hormonal issues, redness, menstrual issues, immunity will drop, injury risk are going to go up. So a little bit up. Also, fat percentage is going slightly is okay in weight class sport is okay. We don't go for 8%, 9%. No, these are going to lead to a lot of injuries and hormonal issues in weight athletes. Okay, so the key issues in weight class sports are overtraining syndrome, high training load, and lower recovery. We don't focus on recovery at all. Okay, I don't know about here, but in India, I talk a lot. Before I get into the nutrition, my first question is, do you have a rest day? Do you recover? Well, second is, do you sleep? Which is a part of recovery. Okay, so recovery, we don't focus on that. You train, you sleep, we don't even check how well you slept previous night, your body has recovered or not. Just start lifting, start training. Okay, redness is common wherein chronic energy deficiency. You're burning like 1,000 calories, you're eating only 500, 600 calories. That's what happens. Lean muscle mass is again a issue in weight class sports. Poor protein intake, calorie deficit is there among athletes. Neuromuscular fatigue, which is due to carb electrolyte depletion, and poor sleep, coordination, cramping, all of these things get affected. These are few risks that are commonly observed among any of the weight class sports. Okay, and few mistakes are there that are made by athletes and the coaches. Number one is, I've been talking about rapid weight loss, which is either we do excessive dehydration, more than 3% body weight loss we see through dehydration, early or excessive carb cut, too much, which leads to what? Low blood volume, increased heart rate, low power, high injury risk, impaired cognition, thermoregulation, low glycogen. All of that leads to lower training intensity, fatigue, and extremely poor performance. Then skipping post weigh in refeed. We don't focus on that. Once the weighing is done, what needs to be fed to that athlete? We don't come prepared. A lot of times I see in the camps and all when I was posted, and athletes are coming from other locations. They have no game plan. After weighing, what they should be eating, they are going to nearby hotel or something, randomly eating something like that. Then overusing quick fix supplements, risk of banned substances, stomach issues. I used to see a lot among athletes. Stomach upsets. When stomach upsets are there, what food you're eating is not going to get digested. Then obviously you will not get the nutrients out of it. They are given false security that if you do it, I was told by the coaches and athletes, ma'am, unless I don't take it, performance doesn't come in. I'm like, who told you? This is what is known, ma'am. Everybody talks about it. So that's what is fed to the athletes, and even coaches believe that unless we don't do certain supplements, performance is not going to come in. Too little protein in deficit. So when we are going calorie deficit for a weight loss, we cut down on proteins also, which is a wrong choice. And gut training is very, very important. This is like, I hardly see anybody focusing on that, because sometimes they have to eat a lot, especially post weigh and all. We have to bring it, and when they're dehydrated and all of that, they're not eaten, and suddenly you bring in the food, they get stomach upset. They need to go to washroom. They get diarrhea, loose motions, gas, bloating, all of that. And think about it, before having a lift of that wrestling event, you have a bad stomach. Nothing. So gut training is equally important. So these are few key mistakes that most of the athletes do. It is widespread. The whole point is how we can strategically work towards it to fix it. Okay, so the question is how to fuel such athletes. So first of all, more than a fuel, it's a performance strategy in sports. Okay, nutrition is a strategy. There's no nothing quick fix. And in weight class sport, every gram counts. Every gram counts. Whatever you are eating, there has to be a strategic planning. And your nutrition directly impacts strength, recovery, and making weight. Okay. So if I see this food pyramid, nutrition is always first, not the supplements. Nutrition training and recovery, competition, and then I should mark in the top corner supplements. They're just a part of your entire regime. They are not the only thing. I'll come to supplement in detail. I hope I have some time. Yeah. So this thing, I want you to take a photo and keep it somewhere. Good nutritional practices should be a part of. It's not a choice. It has to be a part of every athlete's regular routine, as it's one aspect that each athlete can control. See, when you're training, your coach is around. They will kick you. They will tell you this thing is wrong, you need to do. When you're eating, most of the time you're alone. Even if your coach is sitting, they're not going to see what you're eating, whatever. Maybe once in a while they do it. You're outside with your friends or something like that, nobody's watching you. Okay? So it is one aspect that only you as an athlete can control, and it has to be a part. Whether you're in off season, in season, whatever, good nutritional practices are important. Key things in a plate, common. Your carbs, proteins, fats, vegetables, fibers, all of that is same. It is common. But which one will go up what? I'll tell you that. Next, before I move in, hydration. Water is something I've taken full day sessions just on hydration. It is that important. It impacts your performance so much. And hydration is one of the limiting factor in performance in even a properly fueled athlete. You have eaten well, you have slept well. But if your hydration is not good, it can again kill your performance. Okay, and maintaining optimal hydration is important during exercise, as both dehydration and overhydration can be detrimental. And quick thing, this distribution, we know our body has 70% water, but your bones have 24%, skin is 80%, 75% brain, lungs 90%, muscles 75%. Imagine your blood, muscle, skin, bone devoid of water. What is going to happen? Okay. And how do you know you are dehydrated? There are certain signs: muscle cramps, increased heart rate. Heart rate going up, it's one of the common sign of you being dehydrated, because your blood starts getting thicker, but heart finds it difficult to pump. It's like you're using a water pump. I assume we have water pumps here as well to pump water. But if that water has lot of dirt and mud, pump has to work harder to throw up that water, right? It will need more power. Same way, when your blood starts getting thicker, there is no water, your heart rate has to work more. It has to start pumping more. And if it starts pumping more, it needs energy. It needs more glycogen, glucose. Your energy consumption starts increasing more. So heart rate is one of the factor. Low energy, dry mouth, sticky mouth. If you have that, that's a sign of dehydration. Extreme thirst, muscle fatigue, nausea while training. This is a common symptom I used to hear from athletes. They have vomiting sensation, nausea, dizziness. This is again a dehydration sign. Okay? Disorientation. The mind is unable to concentrate on certain things. And obviously, decrease in performance, dehydration is one of the things. And for every 2% dehydration, a player loses 15 to 30% performance. And that's a big percentage. Just for 1 2%, we try to bring in those suits, those shoes, all of that. What about this body? If you don't take care, almost 15 to 30% is going away. Right? So you need to take care you're not getting dehydration. And dehydration is it. And there is no set water. If you ask me how much water should I drink, I don't have answer like that. Okay? Because it is based on your exercise intensity, environmental conditions, temperature, humidity. Like at times it's too humid here in Sri Lanka. Then availability of fluids during exercise, your sweat rate. Few people, athletes sweat a lot, few moderately less. So it's dependent on lot of things. And one common thing I suggest athletes is every time you go to washroom to pee, check your urine color. This is a common thing that you can easy way to check how well you are hydrated. Very light pale yellow, you're well hydrated. It shouldn't be too white. That means you're overhydrated as well. Okay, so light yellow tinge is always good. So that's a sign that you are well hydrated. Now, this is a quick thing about the phase specific guidelines that I want to talk. There's off season wherein we focus a lot on strength, hypertrophy, muscle building, all of that we focus. Then there is a pre competition phase, 6 to 8 weeks before the main event. Then we have the taper phase or the in season. Actually, your event is there a day before, 2 days, 3 days prior, where we are tapering the exercise, overall training. Okay, that's more of a deload phase. And then post weigh-in recovery. These are the phases. There are carbohydrates, proteins. If you see, carbohydrates are maintained. Off season may we go little low in carbs compared to pre-competition, because we are focusing a lot on the protein and more muscle development, but your carbs will be there. We are also looking at the weight as well during these phases. Taper phase में we don't go zero carb. There's a slight carbohydrate reduction, but we'll still maintain 2 to 3 grams per kg ideal body weight. Okay, and post weigh recovery we can go from 6 to 10 grams per kg body weight, depending upon the category in which the athlete is, what was the weight, and post how much we can focus on. All these things we can look into it. So your off season is more about lean muscle gain. Your pre competition is about gradual fat loss, but performance is retained. Okay. Yeah.
Just a small explanation may be ගොඩක් මේ වකුවා හරි වැදගත්. ඔකට ෆොටෝ එකක් දාගත්තත් කමක් නැහැ, right? So this is the weight class sports off season එකේ pre competition එකේ ඊට පස්සේ tapering phase කියන්නේ අපි තරගයකට යන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා පළවෙනි දවස් 5 ඒ ළඟ ටික කොහොමද අපි body weight එක maintain කරගන්නේ සහ තරගය ඉවර වුණාට පස්සේ කොහොමද කරන එක තමයි කියලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර පළවෙනි එකේ පෙන්නන carbohydrates, protein, fat. Right? මේ ගන්න ප්‍රමාණවල අපි මේක පස්සේ කතා කරමු, but it's a very important slide, right?
Okay. So, taper phase में fluid taper slightly, control water and sodium to reduce weight. Okay. Fat loss, we try to preserve muscle mass. Post weigh-in, so taper phase is little critical. It needs to be done with a professional, some qualified person. It's extremely important because that's the time you have to maintain your weight without losing up the performance. So slight we work around the water, sugar, glucose intake, or the carbohydrates and sodium, salt intake. We try to work around these things in a very controlled manner and checking up everything accordingly. We just don't stop salt one day. We just don't go water just 1 glass a day. No, things are not done like that. Then post-weight recovery is like 150% of the weight lost. Electrolytes rehydrate within 4 hours for optimal performance. So your pre-competition taper phase are the ones wherein a lot of things needs to be taken care of here. Okay, so smart nutrition isn't just about cutting weight, it's about fueling your success. So quick, I'll go one by one. So pre-competition weight adjustment is about 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, so evidence-based fat loss 0.5 to 1% body weight loss we are seeing per week, not more than that. Okay, 70 kg athlete can target 350 grams to 700 grams per week. That's what it can be seen. And pre-competition, off-season, like I already mentioned, those things were there in the previous slide as well. So pre-competition is more about losing the weight also in that phase. If we want to do something, it's not the taper phase that we are working, it's the pre-competition phase that we need to work on the weight aspect. Then this is the in-season or the taper week. Carbohydrate depletion 2 to 3 days pre-weigh-in. Okay, 5 to 10% body loss via glycogen loss. So what happens? Each gram of glycogen binds around 3 molecules of water. Okay, so if we try to adjust glucose, we can get rid of the two things. Water and even glucose thing can be adjusted. Through that, then we also work on the fiber intake and sodium intake in order to adjust the water other ways also. But these are the things that can be taken. So sodium reduction is 3 to 5 days before weigh. It's reduced, it's not stopped. Because if you stop again, cramps and other things are going to happen. Water loading we do generally 7 to 10 days before, then taper 24 to 48 hours. So it's more like You load up water initially and we kind of slowly taper down. We don't stop it. Okay, rapid weight loss is only required wherein we can go for mild dehydration. It's like 24 hours or few hours before those few grams or maybe a kg or something we have to lose. So we go for mild dehydration, less than or equal to 2% body weight loss. So hot bath, sauna, all those things are done with the athletes if they have to. Dangers are if the weight loss goes more than 5%, then a lot of things are going to happen. So we don't go with the extreme cases. Then lastly, post-weigh recovery nutrition, we are looking for refueling for glycogen, rehydration, water intake, and performance boosters if caffeine or beetroot juice for nitrates and all of that are required. We look into that as well. So basically, periodized approach is what? Off season is long term, pre competition is 6 to 8 weeks, and then is the fight or the main competition week that is there. So weight loss should be gradual and performance oriented. So yeah, so try to maintain your weight within 5 to 10% of the competition weight. A long-term weight management off season. Please don't gain too much of weight. Within 5 to 10% of increment, plus minus, you can keep with the actual weight class that you are going to compete. Focus on body composition and not just on the weight. Off season, please take care on these aspects. Now, quick, I want to talk about the supplements and ergogenic aids. I have like 10 minutes I'll take and I'll try to finish within that. So, basically, try to understand what are supplements. Supplements are nothing but product taken by mouth. It's not a patch or a cream. Okay, that contains a dietary ingredient and is intended to supplement the diet. That is the thing. Okay. There are certain classification of supplements group A, B, C, D by Australian Institute of Sports and International Standard Serial Number. More or less both are same. Group A are approved supplements. B supplements under consideration wherein we don't have much researches. It's like little bit we have but nothing conclusive we have. Group C are the supplements that have no clear proof of beneficial effects. There's no evidence as such. And group D are your banned supplements. So, when should athletes consider, say, taking supplements? First of all, if they have nutritional deficiencies, if they're low in iron, calcium, D, B12, all of that, at that point, supplements can be considered. Second, if they have very high training load, they're breaking down their muscle a lot, or they are training in high in this thing, environmental conditions are really bad, electrolyte loss is there, they need sports drinks and all of that, accordingly, it can be decided. If they have dietary restrictions, if they are vegetarian or they are gluten intolerant or they have lactose intolerance, any kind of dietary restrictions are there which is restricting them to take a certain food group, that's where supplements can come in. Then sports specific energy requirements are there. Sports injuries, if they are dealing with injuries, then we can look into certain supplements. Indoor athletes, if you're training most of the time indoors, you're not outdoors, then certain supplements can be required. And lastly, there are medical conditions. Now, medical conditions are there, it's better to be dealt with by a sports medicine doctor. It's important that you are in sport, you go to any doctor, but then signature or the approval should be there from a qualified sports medicine doctor who is working with active athletes. Because nowadays, even doctors have started saying they are a sports medicine doctor. A lot of orthos and other aspects. So it's fine, but then they need to be approved by the sports authorities. Some of the common supplements, your deficiency supplements are there. There's fish oil, sports drink, whey protein, BCAAs, glutamine, beta-alanine, caffeine. There are so many of them. Okay. Now we also talk about these are supplements. We also talk about ergogenic aids. What are those? So basically, any substance or technique used to enhance athletic performance legally. Okay, there are illegal ones also under this. So these aids range from the use of accepted techniques such as carbohydrate loading, supplements to illegal substances like anabolic steroids, there's blood doping and lot other things. So many athletes utilize ergogenic aids with hopes of gaining a competitive edge. But if it isn't clubbed with a good nutrition and hydration protocol, your ergogenic aids are not going to work. So overall, they help in reducing fatigue, helps in recovery, immunity, lean muscle development, all those things it helps. So certain ergogenic supplements, caffeine, creatine, nitrate, beta-alanine, sodium bicarbonate. We avoid fat burners. I see a lot of athletes consuming fat burners and diuretics to go for dehydration, but it comes with high risk of hormonal dysfunction, dehydration, and ultimately injuries. So avoid such things in your practice. Now we have illegal ergogenic aids, which are anabolic steroids, EPOs, diuretics, and other masking agents, human growth hormone, peptide hormones. Clenbuterol is widely used by weight class athletes. I don't know about here in Sri Lanka, but in India it's used a lot. It helps in reducing weight. It increases your body heat, thermogenesis, and heart rate and all increases a lot. Then certain types of stimulants, including phentermine and ephedrine, selective androgen receptor modulators, are also used. So illegal ergogenic aids are a lot. If you can't understand the supplement or the added ingredient, please check with some qualified person, not your coach. Coach is not a qualified person when it comes to supplements and nutrition. And I say it again and again. They know few things, but they are not the experts when it comes to food and nutrition and supplements, when it comes to all these things. And we are going for elite level performance, so there are a lot of technical terms, even we kind of misses on that, because WADA gives us a long list of banned substances. Informed, you will get it on the WADA website also. So even we have to go back and cross check what are the things that, is it really allowed or not. So please check with someone before consuming any supplement. Quick dose for the supplement: seek advice from a qualified sports nutritionist who work with athletes, specifically within the sport that you are in. Okay, read the labels, it's very, very important. Not the front packaging wherein it promises, because the same protein or the mass gainer, they are talking about the weight gain, they also talk about the weight loss in the other box. Okay, investigate the brand. We have a lot of brands even in India. Amazon is full of different brands, so please check. Make sure you understand what the ingredients will do to your body. Always be alert to the possibility of bad reaction, especially when taking a new product. For example, if I tell you just taking basic iron tablet, it can give you a lot of GI issues, disturbances, nausea, gastric problem, constipation. Just basic with that, I'm telling you. So similarly, for other products, we have a lot of side effects. Consult your healthcare provider before taking dietary supplement to treat a health condition. If you have a medical problem, don't try to treat it on your own. Please consult a qualified sports medicine doctor. Only use those supplements that are proven to be safe and effective. Always ensure to refer and update yourself with NADA and WADA list. And last bit, don't abandon poor nutrition. First fix your nutrition. First, then comes the supplement. Don't be attracted or seduced by the fads. It's talking this, some social media influencer is talking about this, that, like in our country, you know Sachin Tendulkar, right? Cricketer, you must have heard. Now he does ad for Boost is the secret of my energy. Now Boost is a regular kid's health drink. Do you think he would have consumed that to be the god of cricket? No, definitely not. When he was training, then these things were not even there. But he is advertising. So please understand, when any superstar or any big cricket athlete is talking about the things, what is the reality behind it? It's a big market, there's a lot of money. Everybody wants to earn money, there's nothing wrong. But then you need to be informed athlete. Okay, absolutely avoid products that claim they alter the effects of hormones. If they say they are testosterone booster, the metabolic things are there, they alter your hormones, please be careful. If they're talking about estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, please try to be away or check with someone what is there. Then avoid any product that have energizer, fat burner, metabolic booster, proprietary ingredients they write in the list, but you don't know what is that proprietary blend or that ingredient. Okay, testosterone booster, stay away. Keep in mind the term natural doesn't always mean safe. Ayurvedic products are the natural products. Please understand they can harm your liver. They can harm your organs. They are not regulated. In fact, WADA has now, there is something in their clause that any kind of herbs, Chinese medicine or something like that, they are banned. Okay, because they're not regulated, we don't know what ingredients are there, so natural doesn't mean it's allowed. Never exceed recommended dosage. Oh, one tablet will give me 2 kg loss. Let me take 2 tablets, I'll lose 4 kg. It's like that golden eggs hen, no? One day I'll cut and I'll get all the eggs. It doesn't work. So please don't cross the recommended dosage of any product. Don't ignore the directions. Then don't automatically assume that expensive products are better than inexpensive ones. Nothing like it. I get a lot of athletes. So my auntie has got it from US, from UK. I got it. We have issues there as well. Doesn't mean some things are there from those part of the world will be good. You need to still check what are the ingredients, what are the things packed up in that box. Don't assume all supplements are created equal, and be cautious ordering on any of the online sites. Even in India, we have a lot of fake products, copy products. I don't know how prevalent these things are here in Sri Lanka, but we are good in copying. We just copy right from the box color to the fonts to the hologram to everything that you can't even make out that this is not the original product. So try to buy from authentic sources, from the actual website, from regular online, because we are very good. Like, even if I get a 10 rupees discount, I try to go there without even understanding why the discount. So some whey protein in Indian currency, if I talk about, it's 7,000, which will be like um, maybe 20, 21,000 in Sri Lankan currency, or 20, 30,000. It's now sold at 10,000 or 12,000. Please figure out why. Is the shelf life is gone, or is it really an actual original product? So you need to be cautious about all these online offers and the discounts and the so, potential risk is what? Supplements contain banned supplements, substances. What can happen? Cross contamination can also happen. They are manufacturing something else, they manufacture a way or something else, cross contamination can happen. Some supplements will list ingredients on the label differently, so you will not know what is in the prohibited list. Risk of fake supplements is high. Risk of purchasing a supplement that contains more or less of an ingredient or none of the ingredients listed on the label. And lastly, bad substances or side effects can be if you are taking any supplement. See, if you develop any stomach issue, nervous system effects, allergic reactions, risk of bleeding, electrolyte disturbances, psychological anxiety, it's increasing mood swings. That means you need to relook into any of the supplements that you have recently started. So, whenever highly talented, motivated, well trained athlete meets in competition, the margin between victory and defeat is small, and attention to detail can make that vital difference. So each and every attention to small and small thing also is going to make a huge difference. And that's all about today's session. If you have any questions, I'm ready to take. I'm all over on YouTube, social media. You can follow me anywhere. YouTube, I make a lot of sports related content on nutrition. um, you can DM me anywhere as well. I'll be more than happy. But here, any questions, anything is there, I'll be more than happy to take.